The final embarrassment. Today, final experiment creator Will Duffy is embarrassingly going to highlight how ridiculous and absurd his final experiment actually is. He's going to do that by highlighting the hypocrisy that resides within his heart. This man doesn't know whether he's coming or going. On one hand, he claims his observation in Antarctica proves something that's physically impossible to be true. But on another hand, when it suits him, sky observations have no relevance whatsoever regarding the Earth. First, we're going to entertain a very short clip of the cheesy trailer regarding this daft pantomime that he's been pushing. And then we're going to let Mr. Final Experiment himself, Will Duffy, destroy his final experiment for all of us. Not that he needed destroying, it had no relevance whatsoever. The moment these people started claiming physical reality had changed based on the claims regarding an observation in Antarctica, you knew they weren't the full ticket. But hey, let's entertain some cheese.
Hey everyone, we are live from Antarctica.
It's never been done before. I can't find any evidence of any flat earther going to Antarctica. You certainly can't find any evidence of a group of flat ant.
You had all that playing to yourself. Not one of you thought to take a pendulum, hang it from the plane, and prove that tower cranes could be dead still and plumb, whilst doing the ludicrous speeds the globe Earth theory suggests. Not one of you did that. Shame on you. Because you know the results. Every pendulum that's travelling will deviate from the plumb. Fact, proving the globe Earth theory is physically impossible. And you supposedly were very close to the South Pole. Why didn't you take focal pendulums down there as well as another scientific practical demonstration? Shame on all of you. This was never about physical demonstrations, the truth. This was about creating a false dichotomy and hoping to gaslight people, naive minds, off the back of that. But Will Duffy's going to destroy all that anyway.
Globe Earthers going together to try and prove each other wrong.
I was alerted that our flight was the #1 tracked flight yesterday.
They were 400 miles in.
Whoa.
So this was part of the final experiment.
I was shocked that it's the 21st century and people are still debating the shape of the Earth.
Nah. People are debating conceptual ideas, whether it be the globe Earth theory and a certain flat Earth idea. Yeah, they're debating that, but physical reality isn't up for debate. And we all know that proves the globe Earth theory is impossible. That's why we had to entertain this final experiment. But of course, the truth comes out in the end anyway, as Mr. Final Experiment himself is going to highlight to us all how silly his observation, his final experiment, actually is. Bear with me. Now we've got Mr. Final Experiment himself, Will Duffy, in a debate, I believe, a couple of days ago with a guy called Sean here. And Will Duffy's about to destroy his own creation, the final experiment, before the documentaries even come out. We all knew the globe Earth theory was physically impossible anyway, and that this final experiment was nothing more than a propaganda stunt. But now we're going to see the hypocrisy and the disingenuous ways on show here as Mr. Will Duffy exposes himself and the final experiment in this debate, like I said, which was a couple of days ago. Listen.
Ishan, let me answer. I want to point out to the audience, you are evading the topic of the debate, which is the shape of the Earth, by talking about the sun.
Did you hear that? And again.
Ishan, let me answer. I want to point out to the audience, you are evading the topic of the debate, which is the shape of the Earth, by talking about the sun.
And once more.
Ishan, let me answer. I want to point out to the audience, you are evading the topic of the debate, which is the shape of the Earth, by talking about the sun.
These people who represent the globe do not know whether they're coming or going, because they do not operate on truth and honesty. They're dishonest, disingenuous. They don't have any honor, any truth. They're run by cognitive biases, knee-jerk reactions, and dishonest hearts. Will Duffy has just destroyed his own final experiment here. So keen to win his debate over concepts and ideas, his ego allowed him to go in so deep that he debunked his own claims, his own final experiment, by highlighting the sun has no relevance whatsoever regarding the ground we walk upon. Crazy times, I'll tell you. Very revealing, and this has been a blessing in disguise, and I just thought we'd highlight this and wrap this silliness to bed. And it's nice to see Will Duffy kill the final experiment off before the documentary even come out. Have a good one, everyone.